Hi everybody, I thought I'd come live in the group today because I've had an awful lot of interest this week in the automation that I use to run my business. It literally is a game changer. So by the end of this, it's almost like a Q&A because I've literally had so many conversations with you coaches, you guys. I've been bombarded in Messenger, I've had a lot of calls on Zoom. So this, at the end of this video, all your questions will be answered. And it's all about the automation software that I'm gifting when people join the Lightning Launch and Scale program. So it's the software that essentially runs my business. It's automation that saves me at least 4 to 5 hours a day. It means that we don't have to employ VAs, so it saves a fortune in, costs in hiring people. It builds an audience organically, it builds engagement, it builds a group, and it builds that authority online that you need to get clients. And it does it really quickly. So I've been testing this software, which is literally a game changer. I've been testing it for the last 6 months, and I've literally fine-tuned my system, and I've now got a step-by-step process I go through every single day. It's actually 10 steps I do every day, and it takes me approximately 28 minutes a day to go from start to finish in just a systemized approach, and then by the end of 20 minutes, bang, it's done, and we can close our computers down. So I'm going to take you through, because there's been a lot of interest this week on me gifting this software when people join the Lightning Launch and Scale program. So what I'm going to be covering in this Q&A, just say if you're interested in learning more, just say interested if you're on this live or watching the replay, so that we can carry on, because I'm going to be telling you what it does and what it saves, what pain it saves you, because I do know an awful lot about organic marketing. I've been doing this a long time. So, and I know how to pull clients, leads and clients out of an organic funnel, which is really what this is all about. Okay, so I want to take you onto some slides because you're going to learn a lot from this. You're going to learn how easier your life can be, how you can go off with your husband, go off with your kids at the weekend and not sit on Facebook, because at the end of the day, we don't want to be sat on social media all day. You know, we might love it or hate it, but it's for business purposes. I run a business, so I use it for business. So I'm going to be taking you on this. I'm just going to expand my screen out a little bit. I'm going to be taking you onto this software and showing you how much easier your life can be when you implement it. So comment below interested if you want to get started. So what I'm going to do is now share the screen. I'm just going to take you through an intro. It's going to take probably about 15-20 minutes to get this across to you, but I'm telling you now that 15-20 minutes you spend now will save you hours and hours and hours of time spent on Facebook trying to get clients. And when we spend that time, we don't even gain the traction. So this is a game changer, and I want you to stay with me, because we build an audience, we build it quickly, we build engagement, we get leads, we build a group, and a huge amount of it is done on autopilot. It takes the heavy lifting off our shoulders. So let me share the screen now. Without further ado, I get excited about this stuff. I'm just going to answer all those questions I've been asked all week long. I've created a huge intrigue around this, so I'm going to now answer all those questions for you. Okay, so the first thing is, why do we use Facebook groups? Well, we use it because it's one of the biggest tools we're given for free to market our businesses, and there are 400 million people 400 million people in groups on Facebook. Okay, and there's 1.8 billion active members every single month. So it's a huge, your ideal clients are here. We don't need to go anywhere else. We don't need to go to TikTok, to YouTube, to LinkedIn. LinkedIn's great, but we have got a huge audience here on Facebook where your ideal clients are hanging out. And if you built a group, or you're thinking of building a group, your group has to be relevant to your niche. So we have to really know our ideal client. We have to know where they shop, what they do, what they think, what they want out of life, what the problems are. And that's what I work with my clients on. And it sounds really simple, but it's probably the hardest bit to get right. And it's not even hard when you really think about it and get some coaching on that. But when you do that, this automation works like a dream, because we do need a relevant niche so that our clients are going to be drawn to us and they're going to want to be interacting with us. Now, what you've got to understand is people love to be connected and part of a community. Facebook is really promoting groups now. It's giving us so many more tools and resources, and it seems to be changing every day. You know, I go onto Facebook and they've added another little, tool that we can use, because they really want us to be a community. So they're giving us these tools that we can use in our business, because it places more importance on the groups now. And as I say, so many tools that we can use that most group owners I see just aren't using. They really are letting them sit on the table, and that's to the detriment of their business and getting the leads in the door. You can literally get hundreds of leads out of a Facebook group. So comment below leads if you're getting leads from your Facebook group. I'd like to know who's actually getting leads. Comment below leads, whether watching the replay or the live. Okay, fantastic. So also comment below if you're getting clients from your group. Are you actually pulling out clients from your group? Put clients if you are, maybe no clients if you're not. Just comment below. I'd like to know who's kind of using groups in the right way and getting the right results. Okay, it's not hard, it's just learning a simple system. That's what I've been saying to people all week. It's not hard, it's just learning a simple system that somebody's trodden the path before. So I'm going to tell you what most group owners' challenges face, and I have faced this myself before. For very good reasons, which I'll come on to. Now, there's a huge amount of competition with Facebook groups. There's got to be about, I think the last count was like 620 million groups out there. So that just shows how popular they are. People wouldn't use them if they don't work. But the problem is we've got that competition, okay, around us in our niches. But if you've got competition, it's all good, because we need competition to prove there's a market. But what we need to do is learn to kind of surpass our competitors, do better than them. So this is exactly what this software does, and it takes you literally 28 minutes a day from start to finish to complete all the tasks that I can guarantee your competitors are not doing, and you'll be building that engagement and audience way quicker. So the truth is, it takes time or money to build a group, okay, and I've done both. So you either use, well, I'm going to come on to that in a minute, but you either use ads or you use another way manually, which takes time to build that group. Okay, and we can't just do it and suddenly get 6,000 members in overnight. It doesn't work like that. Facebook likes us to grow it kind of, fairly slow, not slowly, but we're not going to be chucking 6,000 members overnight. It's organic marketing. We can use ads to speed that up, but then that's got its issues these days. But that's especially when it comes to building groups because of the competition, but I'm leaving that for another day. What I'm trying to say is many group owners find it very hard to get the engagement. Okay, they get group members in and they might have had groups for a couple of years, but they're not getting the engagement. They've got all these group members in there and they're just not getting people to absorb their content. And all that effort's gone completely to waste, especially if you've left, you had to go off somewhere and maybe you've gone on holiday for a couple of months, or you've left the group and you've come back and the engagement's completely gone when you post. I mean, I had this myself. I had last year, as you probably know, because if you listened to me before, I had 2 major operations last year, and I'd set the group up and it was doing really well, and then I was recovering for quite a few months, and I let that engagement go because I had no choice. I wasn't feeling really well and things were not on par, things were not on track in my life. So when I came back to the group, I just was getting no engagement. So this tool has really helped me build back the engagement in the group, re-engage old members, and it's an ongoing process. And it really is awesome if you group members out there are suffering from lack of engagement. It pulls back old members and it re-engages new members. And the other problem is that most group owners do not know how to monetize a group. They cannot get calls booked on their calendar because they let people live in the group rather than sort of migrate them out the group. So I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Okay, so now the traditional way of building a group, okay, I don't know if you guys remember the days when we were bombarded with messages where people were throwing their links in the very first message. Join my group, here's a link, join my group, like my Facebook page, join my YouTube channel, link, every very first message you got from somebody. It doesn't work anymore, but it used to be a way of organically building the group. Now, if you are one of those people that are doing that, it won't work anymore because we're bombarded with so many messages. So if you're sending out links in the very first message, people don't really appreciate that because they don't even know you yet. And now you're asking them to take an action without you even connecting with them. So I suggest you stop doing, if you are doing that, I suggest you stop putting links in your very first message. But the traditional way is really doing it in the right way and inviting them personally via Messenger. Trying to sell them on why they should join us. Okay, now because we can't send links in the first message, because it's kind of rude, it's kind of, it's kind of asking somebody for money before you've even met them. It's kind of not the done thing. So what happens now is you invite them, but it's more of a conversation flow. So it takes hours in Messenger. The amount of hours spent in Messenger trying to ignite these conversations and to get people into your group, it's hard work. So that's one way. The other traditional way is money on ads. Now, it's great. I love ads, and many of you know that I actually run ads for coaches. I set their ads up. I run their ads. I set them up and maintain them on a daily basis. I run a lead agency for coaches as well, and I love doing that. So I love ads. I know everything, every nuance there is about ads. I know about all the types of retargeting ads. There's not much I don't know about ads because I've been using them years and years. But I do know that when you're building your group, it's quite an expensive way of building your group. If you're not monetizing your group and you haven't got a very finely tuned system, your money on ads is going to be wasted. And there's other people out there now, a lot of other people building their groups with ads, and they're quite sophisticated marketers. So you could be burning your hands on running money on ads to get people in your Facebook group. You need to know how much revenue you're going to get per member. So that can be a tricky one. The other way is employing virtual assistants. Now, I did this at the very start. It was costing me a fortune. It was about maybe great, she was brilliant, but it was costing about $600-700, maybe $800 a month. I can't quite recall. It was quite a long time ago, but it's quite a big ask when you've just started your group, or maybe you're not monetizing your group. It's quite a big ask to get a VA to build your group for you. So those are the traditional ways, and you can see it's money or time. So really, what I want you to comment below is, how are you building your group? Is it Messenger combos, money on ads, or do you employ virtual assistants? So comment below. I'd love to know how you are building your group. So, how do you grow your group without a huge amount of time and a huge amount of money on ads and VAs? A really good question. How do you do that? Well, before I answer that, I really want to say this, that a group that is not growing is actually dying. Now, this has come from my coach. A group that is growing is not dying. I've learnt this along the way because my group wasn't growing when I was sat in bed recovering, and that's why it died. That's why the engagement died. Very different algorithm in groups than there are on personal profiles. That's a subject for another workshop. But how do we get new members every week? Okay, so how do we get them every week? Because we need anywhere minimum from 20 to 25 new members every week to make that group work, to make that group monetize. And there's a very good reason for that, because most new members are likely to engage. So once the new members engage, it tends to throw out some more group members. But some of the dead ones, if they haven't commented for a long time, they're not going to see the content. Okay, but there is a way of re-engaging them, but they're not going to see that content, because if the group's been left 4 months and they've not seen anything, they're not engaging. So there is a way of re-engaging them, but the people who are most likely to engage in your group are the new members. So if you're not growing your group, those new members are getting older and older. So you need to be growing your group to get fresh people in, because we do certain things with those new people to make them engage. So once they engage, it helps the whole group algorithm. So we need to be growing it by about 20-25 a week minimum. So the engagement, all the value in your group is new to new members. So when they come in, it's all new to them. They'll be absorbing the content, they'll be liking and commenting. if your group is relevant. Remember I said relevant. It can't be wishy-washy. It's got to be relevant and good, and the content's got to be good. So they're more likely to engage. So that helps the whole algorithm. Now, if you're not using automation, it can be really time-consuming to get your new members to engage, because there are a few tricks that you can do to make them engage. Tagging them in certain posts in the right way. You can encourage them to engage to get the algorithm of your group going. Now, just to prove that my group went dead, you can see this. Okay, this was last year when I was sort of just recovering. The group was dead. But July to date, look at the engagement. It's shot right up. And that is purely me. This is my group, me using my automation tool that I've been using since January. And you can see the huge curve. Okay, and that's me using this automation tool that builds my authority, builds my audience, builds engagement. All down to this automation, which I could not do manually sat there at my computer for 5 hours a day. So not only has it built everything for me, it's also given me back my free time. Okay, so I want to go through the Facebook funnel because this is what it looks like. And I know I've talked about this before, but this is where it all starts. So we're going to be filling up our personal profile and we fill the seats up as fast as we can. But before I go on to that, just comment below if you're following what I'm saying. Comment below if you are following. Awesome. Okay. That's great. I just want you to comment below following if you're following. So basically, 5,000 friends you're allowed to fill up your personal profile. So how do we do that? Well, when we start, we've got to start slowly, but we build up to 50 friends a day. So we start filling the top of the funnel with friends. We message them. Okay. We put content on our personal profile, and these people migrate from friends to group members in very specific ways. We do that in clever ways. And out the other end come clients. So those 5,000 spots are really, really important for your business. Okay. So we've only got 5,000 places, though. We can't actually have any more places. That is the problem with your personal profile. With groups, you can have thousands, unlimited, millions if you want to have them. But on your personal profile, it's a different story. You're only allowed 5,000. So we've got to try and be very selective about who is our friends, because we want our ideal clients to be on our personal profile. And if you've left your profile a while or you don't really post very often, you'll find that a lot of your friends won't see your content in the future because you've not really bothered to work the algorithm. So, but also having said that, some of your friends shouldn't be there anyway. Some of the friends are not your ideal clients. So every month we do a cleanse. We get rid of the people who haven't engaged for a certain period of time. But I certainly don't do that manually because I'd be there forever. I would never sleep. I'd never go out. So the automation tool finds the friends that haven't engaged. It finds, when you added them, and we can delete them. So we're cleansing our list so that we're getting rid of the dead rot that they're ruining our algorithm. If our Facebook content gets shown to a pocket of people, and if it's the wrong pocket of people, your post is dead in the water. So we need to be filling our friends list up with fresh, good prospects and getting rid of the old rot. So the automation does that for us. So we remove the non-engagers, and we then add every single day people into the top of our funnel. And what happens then is we're trying to get a 40% acceptance rate. So if we ask 50 people, we want 20 people to accept. There's tricks involved in that because quite often when you start out, it's lower than 40% acceptance. So I work with my clients on building that up. And there's certain factors you need to look at to get yourself a 40% acceptance rate. Now, if you're going to add all these friends to the top of your funnel, it can be really time consuming. So the automation finds the friends for you. There are different areas within online where we can find our friends, and the automation goes out and actually requests to be friends on your behalf. Okay, so that saves a huge amount of time. So I've got something in my throat, so I need a coffee. Sorry about that. So basically, we send our friend requests out manually. If you're doing it manually, it's really tiring. So this automation software goes and does it for you. Again, you can go and have a cup of tea, go out with your husband, have a lovely meal, while this software is churning away. Now, the other thing is, so that, can you imagine how much? Can you imagine? Just put time saving if you feel that's time saving. I know that's probably one of the biggest things for me is, finding friends manually and checking they're the right ideal client. So that is a massive game changer in itself. Now, if we're going to really work this algorithm, we then need to, once those people become our friends, we need to message them within 24 hours to help that algorithm. So again, the messaging, we're adding the friends, we're messaging the friends to make sure that we're going to work the algorithm, because what we want to do is get them to respond. So if they respond to us, they're way more likely to see our content, because Facebook says, oh, Elaine's engaged with Steve and Steve's actually replied back and Elaine's replied back. They must have a connection. So let's show Steve Elaine's content. Again, that's time consuming, striking up conversations to help the algorithm. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a personal input, because you should, but it's all that initial contact, which can be really, really tiring if you're doing it manually. And then on top of all that, not just adding the friends manually, but messaging manually, we also, to help the algorithm, have to comment and like on other people's posts. Now, I know some courses out there that say you should spend half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the day, then half an hour at night. Now, I'm not being funny, but I haven't got an hour and a half to sit there on social media liking and commenting on other people's posts. One, I've got a life, I've got kids, and I've got businesses to run. I can't do that because I just cannot sit there on social media. So this software does the heavy lifting for you. So there's 3 algorithmic factors: adding the friends, messaging, liking, commenting. That all is done automatically. Now, the posting of the content, I'm afraid, is not done automatically. That's something you have to do. But I help my clients with the content, so they're not stuck on what to put. We've got like 11 content strategies, compounding content that really work on social media. Okay, so it's all very, very tiring. And I cannot say how I used to feel in the olden days when I used to come off social media. I feel like somebody had battered my head against a brick wall, and I don't know how you feel about that, but I tried to follow everything this course told me, but I literally was so drained, and I thought enough's enough. I'm not doing this anymore. I want organic to work, but I'm not willing to do this. So I found a solution. Okay, so this is a post. This is basically all the messages to and fro. So you get really, really tired. Now, before I come on to finding out about this automation, I will say I've used other automation tools and they're not as good because they don't do anywhere near as much as this particular one. But before I come on to that, I just want to say a few don'ts, because I see so many people on social media acting quite desperate. So the first thing is, don't send links straight away in messages, because it's, as I say, it's almost as rude as asking a stranger for money. So don't do that, because people don't like it. We start a conversation almost like you're going out for a coffee with a friend, and you don't sell straight away, do you? You're not going to suddenly, once you strike up a conversation, send them a link to buy a product. I've seen that as well. A message conversation, buy my product for 97. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. It's not going to work. It's not what marketing's about. People only buy things off people they like and trust. No like and trust. So we don't sell straight away. We don't chase. Now, I'm not saying don't follow up when you've had a one-to-one with somebody. You've got to do that. You're leaving money on the table if you don't follow up. I teach my clients you've got to follow up on a regular basis. It doesn't have to be straight away, but you've got a day-to-day database where you follow up. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, don't chase them if they haven't if you haven't clicked on the link and joined a group, or, there's a reason. It's a numbers game with organic marketing. So what we do though is we are going to funnel people towards your group with content. So it should say number 1 and number 2, don't sell. Okay, so these are the 2 that really you shouldn't do. This one here, though, is we're going to start funding people with content. But before I come on to the content, this is one large message I had telling people to join there to get the resources, feel if the group could be helpful to you. So I just don't. I just think, well, I'm not joining it. I'm not interested. You've not even tried to get to know me at this point. You've not asked me a question about me. This is really nothing to do with me. It's all to do with you. So don't send messages like that. Okay, so these are the content strategies. Right, so instead of like spending money on ads, and instead of trying to force people to join groups in Messenger, and, basically, let's go through them again. These are the 3 ways we, and the VAs. So without doing all of those, we can use content. Okay. So just comment below if you're finding use. Just put useful if you're finding this useful, because I've really thought about this workshop because I've had a lot of questions. So comment below useful. Okay. So basically, these are just one example really, but I've got 2 kind of posts. One example of content is where we get people to comment below yes, and I'll show you. We're not forcing them. It's only if they're interested, if they want to actually find out. Like if you have been stuck at 1 to 2 clients a month, okay, this was what I call my power offer, and we test power offers online to see if it resonates. You send it to your email list, you put it on wherever you've got an audience. So comment. So that's one kind of post. Now, I'm going to probably take you on to this one more, because basically that, when people comment, you can then say in Messenger, you actually commented yes to my post about XYZ. Well, I'm doing a workshop in my group. Would you like an invite? So they have to join the group to watch that workshop. Or I've got a resource in my guide section within my group. Would you like the invite to the group so you could get the resource? So you're drawing people in with useful content. You're not forcing them to join. You're just telling them there's actually value in the group. Another one, 2 reasons why putting offers out there is more important than marketing. Comment below workshop. Okay, so that's in my group. So it's basically encouraging people to join your group when they comment. Now, the thing about this is when people comment on your posts, some of my posts have had hundreds of comments. So replying to each comment is really liking somebody's comment to your post, and commenting back can be really time consuming. So the automation does all that for you. So you select the post you put on social media, and it literally finds all the likes and the comments, and it finds all the people who've commented, and it likes their comment, and it messages them. Thank you. Let's start again. It finds the post. It's Friday afternoon. It finds the post, and whoever's commented on your particular post, it will like their comment and it will reply to their comment. Now, if it's relevant, they can also message them in Messenger. If you've offered a free resource, it not only likes, comments back to them, but also messages them. Oh, hi, Sarah, this is the free resource, or hi, the resource is in my group. So it's awesome, just taking away all that heavy lifting. So what I do want to say is, if you find a winner with your content, pin it to the top of your personal profile, because that's going to build engagement when people come to your personal profile and see the very first thing on your profile is something that has worked naturally in your newsfeed. So if it works naturally in your newsfeed, go and pin it to the top. So what I want to say is this software literally takes away all the commenting, the liking on your own post, and the messaging that you need to do. And I had a question this week about somebody's really, really fed up of having to cut and paste email addresses. Okay, email addresses. Cut and paste the email address and then go and put it into MailChimp or Aweber or whatever your mail provider is. Really tiring. And I used to do this. I used to dread it every day, going, oh, all my group members, I used to cut and paste everything. I used to cut and paste the name. I used to cut and paste their answers. I used to copy and paste their email, go to Aweber, put it in every single day. So this automation just does it all for you. Literally grabs the information, puts it in a Google Sheet, throws it off to MailChimp, Aweber, and I literally have saved myself so much time every week, freed up my time so I can spend on my business, not in my business. So if you guys are really fed up with kind of having to, monitor all the data from your 3 questions, If you haven't set 3 questions in the group, you should, by the way, because it really, really helps you know your clients. It helps you build an email list. There's many other things. That's for another workshop as well. But basically, if you've got your 3 questions set up right, click of a button, all shoots off to the right places and people become members of your group. You've not lost their email. It's been shot off straight to where it needs to in any platform. Okay, so I hope this is answering all the questions I've had this week, because I've been quite exhausted trying to explain it all. So I thought I'd just run this workshop. So again, comment below useful if you find it useful, live, or if you're on the live or the replay. I like to know that people are resonating with what I'm saying, not falling asleep, because I think this stuff is awesome. It's a massive game changer for me and for my clients. Okay, so basically adding friends you can automate, messaging you can automate, liking and commenting on their posts, and replying to comments and messaging them in Messenger. Let's add that. Accepting people into your group, adding them to your email list. And also it goes to a Google Sheet, so any questions they've answered, you can build up a database to really see what your audience is telling you. Tagging people in your content. Now that is an art, but it's a simple art. So I'll just put that's an art. Very simple, but there are certain things you need to learn to do and not to do when it comes to tagging people in certain things. But it does it automatically. You can just leave it running. Re-engaging group members is a really good one. I mean, you saw my engagement, how low it was, and how now it's really shot up. And that's purely using this automation. Re-engaging your group members, really important, because that's money sat in your group that you're not pulling out. You know, what you built them, you need to be getting them back in the group. Removing disengaged friends that affect your algorithm, all done automatically. And building lists of hot leads, because this is Messenger CRM, guys, at the end of the day. We're not just kind of doing all this stuff, we're building leads. So that next time we run a workshop, next time we run something, we've got those leads who are already interested in previous stuff we've done. If you run a workshop in a certain subject and you know the next workshop is a similar type of subject, you've got all those people that have already said they want to join your previous workshop, and you can tag them in. So you're already getting the right people to your future workshop. It's just a game changer. It really is. It's a no-brainer, because we're not even spending money on a VA here. So it builds a CRM. But the bottom result for everybody, the end result, is it builds momentum and it builds an audience and it builds engagement fast. Which means, what does that mean? Comment below what you think that means. What's the result of building momentum, audience and engagement? I want to see who's got the right answer. Comment below what you think the result of that is, and I will actually gift you a free gift. I will personally reach out if somebody got the right answer. What does it mean if you build momentum, an audience and engagement? And I should add authority. If anybody comments, I will be reaching out with an awesome free gift if anybody gives me the right answer. Okay, well, I'm going to keep that one to myself because I think you know the answer, but I'm going to see who comments with the right answer, and I will be reaching out to them personally. Okay, so there's no need now to post in other people's groups, because again this week I've been speaking to people and I'm so fed up with going into other people's groups, and I've got to find posts that are relevant, and I've got to comment in amongst all these other people who are commenting just to get some attention. I don't do any of that. I have not got time to go into other people's groups and start posting. Too time consuming. This system does all the heavy lifting. We don't need to be going into other people's groups and posting. We have to join groups, the right ones, yes, to make this system work. That's the easy bit. But I'm certainly not going into those groups and adding my penny's worth. Do not need to. So that's a massive relief to some people. Like some people this week were coming on the phone or Zoom and saying they're just fed up spending hours in other people's group. I really want to get that across to you. Not needed at all. So I think that probably answers all the questions that you guys had. I've literally been bombarded this week with questions, so I really thought the best way is just to get on here, and I'm going to tag everybody in so this answers all the questions. So if you want to know how to use this with your business, okay, if you want to know how to use it, I'm gifting this software for people who join the Lightning Launch and Scale program. Okay, and I'm not going to, I did say 5, but I'm taking a certain number on for a certain time period. So if you want in on this to change your life and to change your business, all you need to do is message below capitals HOW, how, and I will reach out. So just all you need to do is comment below how, and I will reach out to you. Okay, so all you need to do, because I will do the rest for you. So just comment below how, and it's really, if the offer's gone, the offer's gone. So it really depends on how quickly you are on finding out about this. You can decide whether it's right for your business. I can explain it to you. We can jump on a call, a no pressure call. I will show you how it works. You decide whether that is right for you or whether it's not. Maybe it's not. Maybe we get off the phone and you say, no, I don't want to do that. That's absolutely fine. But nobody has to date. They all think it's awesome. But you may, it may not be your jam at all. But I will safely say it will be, because it's an awesome tool to build that momentum very quickly within Facebook. Okay, so just comment below how. I'm not quite sure how long I'm going to open the doors to this free software that I'm gifting when people join the Lightning Launch and Scale program, which is a very comprehensive program that takes you from the start right through to defining your message, your niche, your audience, which is so important, and your offers before we use the software, because that is the core. I help people with 100% getting that right before we even implement the software. Okay, and then when we implement the software, we get the leads. We also show you how to close. We have Joe Salimi, our sales closer, who has worked for Fortune 500 companies. So we take you right from the beginning, even if you don't know your niche yet. We take you right from the beginning. Many of you do, though, like many of you coaches do know who you help, and that's awesome. But we even fine tune it further, because you could be barking up slightly the wrong tree with your audience. So we really nail that. We implement the software, we get you the leads, we show you how to close. So we are gifting that software with the Lightning Launch program. So just comment below how. I do it sooner rather than later, because we don't know how long I'm going to be gifting the software with the program. Okay, guys, well, thank you so much for listening. I know it's been a long one, but I really wanted to explain that to you. And if just want to take you one last look, if you are somebody sat with a group lacking engagement, thinking you just can't get it back, what are you going to do? What on earth do you do to get that engagement back? Just look at the situation I was in back last November after all my operations and how it's built up. So it really, really is a game changer. So I won't go on about that. I will let you have a lovely weekend. I'll look forward to talking to you guys who are interested, and we will see you again very, very soon. Thank you so much for supporting this group. I love you all, and I wish you a really, really fabulous weekend. We are not so hot in the UK now. It's calmed down a bit. It's been raining today, so we're back to our normal selves.